BackgammonGalaxy.com presents Backgammon Pro Analysis.
What's up, Backgammon fans? This is Marc Olsen from BackgammonGalaxy.com. Today we're gonna do a quiz, an opening game quiz. So how good is your opening game really? This is the score sheet. A world-class player will get 10 out of 10 in this quiz. So it's not a quiz for world-class players. It's more of a quiz to test what is your level really. 8 out of 10, you are at an advanced level already. Your Backgammon Galaxy rating is probably already in the 1700s or higher. 5 out of 10, you're an experienced player. You definitely know a little bit about the opening game, but have room for improvements. 4 or less out of 10, it means that you are an intermediate or a beginner, and you should study a little bit more to try to get to that, at least that experience level. The format of the quiz is the following. I will give you 20 seconds per position. If you need more time, pause the video and note your move. If you're watching on Facebook, press the like button when you are done at each position to indicate that you have submitted or you have noted your answer. Note each answer in the chat, but do not send it yet. So the way it works is that you write down your answer, your move in the chat box, but you wait to send it after we've gone through all 10 positions. Then you send and submit your answers. So after we've gone through all 10 positions, that's when you submit all 10 of your answers at the same time. Then we're going to analyze each position one by one, and you can check out how many positions you got right. Okay, so that's the format. Are you ready to begin? You could also note your have a pen and pencil or a pencil and paper and note your move on a piece of paper and then submit it in the chat, or you could simply just use the chat immediately to keep track of your answers. So without further ado, let's get started. First position, and the clock starts now. By the way, all positions are money game, so there's no score considerations. Okay, that was position number 1. I gave you a little bit extra because I interrupted there just to say that all positions are money games. Position number 2. And the time starts now. Okay, that's 20 seconds. Position number 3. Time starts now. "20 seconds are up. Position number 4. Time starts now. Time is up. Position number 5 and go. Time is up. Position number 6, go. And time is up. Position number 7, go. And time is up. Position number 8, go. Time is up for position number 8. The last 2. Position number 9, go. Time is up. The last position, position number 10, go. And time is up. Okay guys, so now is the time to submit your answers. Let me see them coming in the chat. I'm gonna give you some seconds here. If you wrote down your answers on a piece of paper, I will just let you have some time to enter your results. You could also pause the video and enter your results. Okay, we can see all the answers start coming now. That's cool. Very good. So this is the score sheet that you're aiming for. If you get 10 out of 10, you're probably a world-class player already. 8 out of 10, advanced level. 5 out of 10, experience level. 4 or less, intermediate or beginner. And by the way, let me remind you guys that we just started a new Facebook group as a subgroup under Backgammon Galaxy's Facebook site. So if you haven't joined this group already, please go in and join this Facebook group. It's really awesome. You can post positions and expert players will be ready to come with their analysis and comments, and you can really improve your game this way. And it's just for free. It's just a community. Everybody contributes as much as they want, and yeah, all good. So join the Facebook group called Backgammon Strategy. It's a sub page to Backgammon Galaxy's Facebook page, so I think you have to like that page first to join this group, but I'm not really sure actually. Okay, so let's get going with the analysis of each position. Let's start with position number 1. Okay, so the right play here is to make the 5 point. A lot of beginners, they make the 7 point thinking that the 7 point is the better point, but it's not. The 5 point is the best point. It's not just a priming point, but it's also an inner point. What is an inner point? An inner point is a point in your home board. We call that inner points. So the 5 point is both a priming point and an inner point. That's why it's better than the 7 point. The 7 point is a little bit better for priming, but it's not an inner point. So every time you hit an opponent, you don't get the advantage of having extra inner board points. Therefore, the best move with the 6-1 is to make the 5 point. Another detail that you should notice is that we unstack this heavy loaded 5 point with the ace to make this the 5 point. It's a very important principle in the opening game that you want to unstack your heavy points. It's very inefficient to have too many checkers on a point. You need your checkers to start working to make new points. Therefore, the best play here is to make the 5 point, or as we call it, the golden point, termed by Paul McGrill, the legendary backgammon player. Okay, let's move on to position number 2. An absolute beginner might just run like this with 6-5, because that's what we usually do with 6-5 in the opening. It's a good running play. However, since the opponent has split his back checker out here to the bar point, we need to make a hit. So the 6, let me just remove this error. The 6 has to be played with 13-7. It puts the checker on the bar, it slows down the development of the opponent's prime, because he has to spend half of his roll entering from the bar, and it starts to develop your own prime here on the 7 point. So all in all, hitting is great. It's the single best thing you can do in backgammon, and this is no exception. So the real question is, after you hit with a 6, how do we play the 5? 13-8 is more of a priming move that tries to get your prime going here. However, in this situation, the best 5 is actually to play 6-1. Usually we don't want to put checkers down here in the deep points. However, this is an exception. The reason is, there are several reasons actually. One of the reasons is that you get to unstack your heavy 6 point. Furthermore, you actually don't, the risk is actually not much higher, because after this play, you have 11 shots because you make a double hit, so your opponent has to put 2 checkers on the bar. So it's just 11 out of 36 hitters from the bar, a direct ace. And if you play 2 down instead, your opponent will have all 7s and all the entries with a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 alongside with a 6. So it's basically the same amount of shots. It's not big. It's not a big difference. The risk is not higher. Furthermore, you have increased your blitz value. After you play 13-7, you now have 9 checkers in the zone. So your blitz value has increased. Therefore, it's actually a good blitzing move, this 5, to double hit. Double hits are very strong in backgammon. So this is, usually you don't want to put checkers on deep points in the opening game, but the 6-5 is the exception. Okay, let's move on to position number 3. 5-1. This is very similar to the 6-5 we just saw. However, here it's a mistake to double hit. Now the best play is simply 13-7. So what's the difference? First of all, if after we hit with the ace, we have a stripped 8 point, that wasn't the case with the 6-5. So it's a good move to unstack the heavy midpoint and put that spare checker back on the 8 point. It's very nice to have spare checkers. We prefer to have a spare checker on a point. A stripped point is a point with no spare checkers. That's a weakness, because then we have to break the point if we want to move those checkers. Furthermore, since we have to hit with the ace, then we only have 8 checkers in the zone. That's a lot less blitz value than 9 checkers in the zone. So hitting with 6-1 is weaker in terms of blitz value. All in all, when you don't have a blitz position, you shouldn't make blitzing move. You should just play the normal priming move, which is more balanced and more pure. Purity means that you put your checkers on the gaps in your prime. So the pure points here would be the 7 point and the 5 point. The deep points are impure, and that's not something that we like when we don't have a blitz position. Okay, so the best move is simply just to play 13 to 7. Let's move on to position number 4. Double aces. Okay, so the dilemma here is, do we hit? Which is, as I said earlier, the single best thing you can do in backgammon. Or do we go for the prime and build 2 new inner points? Looks like this. Very strong, very efficient, already get our prime structure going. The best move here is to go for the prime. So we forego the hit in order to develop our prime. So this is basically a risk-reward decision. When we develop our prime, we get a lot of value for this roll. It's not just the 5 point that we are developing, it's also the 7 point. It's 2 new points in our prime. Furthermore, we get to unstack the heavy loaded 6 point. If we hit instead, then we forego the priming potential of making the 7 and the 5 point. Furthermore, we don't get to unstack the heavy 6 point. Notice that these 2 moves are quite close in equity. It's just a smaller error of 2.6% of a point in equity. That's what the number right here to make the hit. This just goes to show that making a hit in the early game is super strong. And when you do hit, you take away this slotted checker here on the 5 point so that your opponent can't develop his position next roll. This is very crucial. So all in all, it's a close move, but the best play is to make the prime. Let's move on to position number 5. Now it's 3-1. Same dilemma. Do we make a priming move or do we make the hit? In this position, it's a very clear play. Now you gotta make the hit. Why? What's the difference? Well, the difference is, compared to double aces, now you only get 1 new point in your prime, namely the 5 point. With double aces, you got 2 new points. You got the 7 point as well. So the prime development was much stronger with the double aces. Here you don't get as much prime for your roll. Therefore, you should make the hit. And this is a clear play. It's a blunder to make the 5 point here. Let's move on to position number 6. 3-2. So, a lot of beginners are tempted to make the double hit here, just because they saw the computer, whether it was GNU or Extreme Gammon, make a double hit sometimes. But you gotta know when the time is right to make the double hit. So the rule is, if your opponent has made a major split, which is a split with a 3 or a 4 up to the 4 or 5 point, then you don't want to make a double hit, because after you hit, you prefer to just leave this checker slotted on the 4 point. It's too good of a point to put that checker in deep. So in this position, your opponent has made a major split with a 3. Therefore, after you hit with a deuce, you just leave the blot there. And the best 3 is then to play 13 to 10, which adds a direct builder, which covers with a 6 the blot on the 4 point. Notice that 13 to 10 is slightly better than 21 to 17. This is also a good move. You want to split your checkers in the opening game to try to make that advanced anger. 13 to 10 is just a little bit better because it's very efficient. It brings a builder down that's 6 away, so it has a large probability to cover, and it gets to unstack the heavy midpoint. All in all, it's just slightly better to play 13 to 10 than it is to play 24 to 21. And making the double hit here is half a blunder. It's a weak play. It's not so much that the play is weak, it's just that you miss out on an even better play, namely to just leave the slot here on the 4 point and bring another builder down. Play for purity rather than blitz. As well as the blitz or the ammunition to the blitz, we talked about this earlier. In the opening game, you only have 8 checkers in the zone. These 8 checkers here. That's not enough ammunition for the blitz. So that's why it's very weak to make a blitzing play like this with just 8 checkers in the zone. You need to play pure and try to go for a priming game. Maybe the blitz will occur later on. Don't make blitzing moves if you don't have a blitz position. Okay, let's move on to position number 7. 4-1. Following the same analysis as we just did, in this position, the double hit is indeed the right idea. The reason is that the opponent has made a minor split. He just split it with the ace. So after hitting with the 4, we already have a checker in deep, so we can might as well take the advantage of a double hit and put 2 checkers on the roof. We could also play a play like 13 to 9, 24, 23, which is the second best move. It's here. It's half a blunder to make this play. But it's quite a weak play because we give your opponents a lot of good rolls. 7 and 8s are going to hit you out here in the outfield, and you're going to lose ground in the race and in development. Furthermore, this builder here on the 9 point is a very active builder, meaning that a lot of the opponent's rolls are going to make new points and develop his position next roll. A roll like 4-1 just makes the 5 point. 4-3 also makes the 5 point. 6-2 makes the 7 point. So many rolls, and if you go through all the numbers, all the rolls, you will see that so many rolls make key points in your opponent's prime position in the next roll. That's why the passive move of 13 to 9 and 24 to 23 is quite weak. The best move here is to double hit, as we see here with the errors here of XG. I hope you can see the difference between the opponent splitting to the higher point with a major split or the deeper point with a minor split. There's a big difference. And we only make the double hits when your opponent has made a minor split. Okay, let's move on to position number 8. So this is a dilemma. Do I make an offensive play and unstack my 6 and 8 point? Or do I make a defensive play by making the golden point in the opponent's inner board? Some might be tempted here because of the additional checker on the 8 point, so we have a stack and a mini stack to unstack those and play 8 to 4. Obviously it's a great move. We start to develop and it's the second best prime point that we make. However, the best play is to make the golden point. So the rule of thumb is that offensive points, let's call it O, is better than defensive points in the opening game, usually. However, it depends on what point it is. So the 5 point is slightly better than the 20 point. The 4 point is slightly better than the 21 point. However, the 20 point is better than the 4 point. Likewise, the 21 point is better than the 3 point, and so forth. So following this rule, we would see that the golden point is indeed the better play. It stops all the offensive game plans of your opponent. He cannot prime you anymore because you have that advanced anger. He cannot blitz you anymore because you got the anger locked down. And all of these checkers that he has here on the 6 point cannot play efficiently. They have to go behind your anger, which is very inefficient. You don't want to put checkers behind your opponent's anger. then they don't serve any priming purposes anymore. So all in all, making the golden point is a better play than the offensive play of making the 4 point here. Position number 9, 6-3. The standard opening with 6-3 is to come out to the 18 and unstack the midpoint and bring a builder down to the 10 point. However, this is a second roll position. Our opponent just opened with 5-1 and played 13-8, 24-23. And for that reason, the best play is to come out all the way. If we look at the standard opening play, it has several weaknesses compared to an opening 6-3. First of all, your opponent has his back checker split, which doubles the probability to make an outfield hit, which is very bad. Furthermore, he has a better spare checker distribution. So hitting with an ace from the 8 point is better because he gets to keep a spare checker on the 8 point while hitting. So both coming down is worse and because of more shots, because of the split back checkers, and coming out is worse because of the improved spare checker distribution. So now the developing move shifts to a running move. It's simply better just to run all the way. Then you just leave a single shot, which is the 3 and 2-1, 13 out of 36 shots to get hit, and yeah, that's the right idea. So you see here that depending on your opponent's opening roll, we have to adjust our opening reply as well. The 10th and final position coming right up. Here it is, 4-3. A lot of you guys probably got this wrong. You probably split the back checkers in a usual fashion because it's an opening game. So why shouldn't we split the back checkers? This is what we always do. We want to get an advanced anchor, right? Not in this position. So what's characteristic about this position? Our opponent has rolled an early double 5. What implications does that have on strategy? Well, now our opponent, instead of having 8 checkers in the zone, he has 10 checkers in the zone. This is a lot more blitz potential, more blitz value. And the inner point he made is a quite deep point here on the 3 point. It's not a pure point. A pure point would be the 7 or the 5 point, or even the 4 point. But the 3 point is a bit deep, which means it's going to be difficult for our opponent to develop a full prime. Furthermore, he's up in the race because of the early double 5. So the game plan of the opponent is to play a blitz and a race. So what is our game plan? Our game plan is to play a priming game with timing. We are down in the race, which means we have better timing. That means that our opponent is likely to crunch his front position before we are if we get him into a priming game. Therefore, we should not split the back checkers and open ourselves up to getting blitzed. We should just stay on our deep anchor. This is fine because then we can't get blitzed. Furthermore, if we get him into a priming game, we will have better timing. Look, we're leading in timing since we're down in the race, and we have a more pure prime structure because we made the 4 point. He has the 3 point. So a priming game is really the game plan we want to pursue here. The best move is by far to develop our prime and bring 2 checkers down. This is actually a very low risk play. It's just 8s and 9s that hits. So that's a total of, let me see, 6. Let me write down all the numbers. 6-2, 6-3, 5-4, double 4, double 2. I think that's it, isn't it? 4, 5, 6, 2. Yeah, that's it. So this is a total of, Well, that's 2 out of 36. That's another 2 out of 36. All the non-doubles are 2 out of 36, and all the doubles are 1 out of 36. So that's a total of 8 out of 36 shots. And even if we get hit, we still have our anger and we can play a contact game from the back. So, and if he doesn't hit us, which happens 28 out of 36 times, then we are in a great position to develop our prime next roll. Let's say he rolls a roll like 5-2, and then he has to play 5 down, and he must split his back checkers so he doesn't get stuck in a priming race. But look how well distributed our checkers are. We have super flexibility here. A lot of our rolls will improve our prime next roll. So going for the prime and playing 2 checkers down is definitely the right play here, and everything else is a blunder. Okay guys, so now is the time to write in the chat how many right answers you got, and please be honest. You're only fooling yourselves. I want honest answers. You already submitted your move, so let me know how many out of 10 that you got right. I'm gonna be checking out the chat, making sure that I don't miss any of your responses. If you have any questions with regards to the position, please post the position in our new Facebook group. Post a screenshot or something and ask the question. If you feel like there were some something we didn't really cover in our analyses, and if there's something you're uncertain of, then just post the position in the new strategy group on Facebook, and I will be sure to respond. If you're watching on Facebook, you can also ask questions in the Facebook comments. That's also fine. I'll try to respond to all of those as well. Okay guys, if you like this video, remember to, or please share this video with your backgammon friends to test their skills. It's a lot of fun just to see how good your friends actually are, about how their knowledge of the game is. If you're watching it on YouTube and you want to help Backgammon Galaxy grow our YouTube channel, please click the notification bell. It's really important. It helps us a lot to grow and to get our videos out to new people and spread the backgammon love and try to get new players into the community. It really helps a lot, guys. The YouTube algorithm rewards this. So subscribe and click on the notification bell on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, you probably already liked Backgammon Galaxy's Facebook page, but if not, the same goes. Like it. We post so much free content. We make animation videos, analysis videos from Grandmasters, and everything is for free. And if you want, you can also join our new strategy group here called Backgammon Strategy, new Facebook group where you can post. Everything is for free, and you will have a lot of experts helping you out with your game, commenting and explaining questions that you have. Okay guys, that's it for now. This was the first, you could call it intermediate backgammon quiz on opening game. I hope you like it, and remember to share it with your friends, if the backgammon friends you have, and try to test out their skills. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time.
Backgammon Pro Analysis. BackgammonGalaxy.com. Play among the stars.